The Evergreen Media Network Studio, powered by Scott Tree Services.
This is Martha Matters. From real estate, healthcare, current events, taxes, or just about any topic, we're talking about it. Call us with any questions on just about any subject. Now, here she is, Martha!
Hey, well, hi there, and welcome everyone. It is absolutely very, very interesting. I promised you a few weeks ago that I would give an update on the hurricane season. It's, there are still a couple of question marks, but for the most part, it is good and just about the same, no, except for one item. Thank God the Bermuda High is still staying way out in the middle of the Atlantic, which means on either side of it, like I predicted before, these 23 hurricanes that are going to come about because the ocean is so warm, they're going to go straight north. They're not going up the U.S. coast or the African coast. The only people that need to watch out is so many of them are going up in the eastern half of the Atlantic. One or two of them may be astray, going north through Portugal, the coast of France, England, even Ireland, and the Netherlands. Just the eastern part of Europe. It may give it a brush. My guess is not outrageous winds, but by the time that gets up there, it's going to be pretty much a flooding event if it does hit them. So enough of that. The big thing that concerns me now is while it's still out in the middle of the Atlantic, which is great, it's relatively weak. It's funny when you say a high pressure is almost a low pressure. By low pressure, I don't mean the L low pressures that bring us rain and a change in weather, but still, by a low high pressure is basically very weak pressure. So it's not going to give you a good steering event. And what really concerns me is there may be more hurricanes that go a little bit to the south. They're north of South America, but they're very far south. They're going to miss the effect, right, if it were right now with that weak high pressure. And so more will go straight west into Mexico. And let's hope that if they have to go a little north, they'll go over the Yucatan Peninsula into the Bay of Campeche. So they would still go into Mexico, but very south Texas may get a few outer bands of something like that, even though it's going to stay in the western part of the Caribbean, as opposed to coming up the Florida coast. But this is still late middle May, and there's a good chance, let's hope and keep our fingers crossed, that the high pressure builds up much stronger, not be so weak. Why? For three different reasons. One, it will be more of a steering current, making sure all of the hurricanes go up in the middle of the Atlantic, away from any land. The second reason, a stronger high pressure has a lot of trade winds with it. So that will also be a more effective steering current, even keeping storms away from Bermuda, which is out there a lot. Otherwise, these storms won't randomly be going over Bermuda and other islands like the Azores and so forth. it will give them all a break. The other reason is one thing that you've seen the last few years, and strong last year, the Weather Channel doesn't like talking about it because it kills hurricanes, and that is the Sahara dust coming over from the Sahara Desert. Well, that Sahara dust may give us a cloudy day, but there's no rain. It dries up the humidity in the air. All kinds of pluses for being away from hurricanes. And with us still having La Niña from July, August, or at least half of August, preferably all of August, that also pushes the dust back out in the Atlantic and North Atlantic, which will help to dry up hurricanes. So a weak high pressure will not steer the Sahara dust, which is a shame because that's very effective, was very effective last year. The Weather Channel was so upset they couldn't say a hurricane's coming. The Sahara dust wiped it all out. So let's hope that by June, if I have to give one more update, but it won't be till the end of June or July where we know for sure that the Bermuda High is rock solid where it is now and hopefully a lot stronger, then we will be on easy street. But if it moves or is non-effective, that means the Atlantic is going to be a free-for-all, literally, and we don't want to see that.
And so when that stuff gets in place, Martha, all of the different highs, lows, pressures, steering currents, when they get in place, they stay there for the whole season?
Well, just the one, the Bermuda High. Other cold fronts will come and go, but because the Bermuda High is so strong that a strong low pressure, like a rain with a trough, will end up being dissolved by the Bermuda High.
Okay.
They're not as strong as the high pressures. So that's the good part for ships crossing the Atlantic during the summer. Hopefully they don't need to worry about bucking hurricanes or taking major detours. So that is good, but unfortunately we won't know until the end of June how much stronger, and hopefully it will, the Bermuda High gets. When it's not strong, then what you just brought up, all these low pressures coming off the coast and everything, they can steer things the way they want, and normally they can't steer anything. So I don't want to see that. I want to see the Bermuda High be very, very strong. Now, very often it comes out in May as being too strong, and sometimes it comes across as being too weak, which it is now. And in 99% of the cases, it becomes strong by the end of June. If you notice on TV, other than all this, these hurricane preparedness programs, no one's talking about the path of hurricanes anymore. Because of this Bermuda High being at the moment very weak, they can't make any predictions like New England watch out, or Mid-Atlantic watch out, or Florida watch out, or the Caribbean and Puerto Rico watch out. They're not talking about that because they don't know, just like I don't know right now, unless that high pressure we call the Bermuda High gets strong and stays put. Then we are in on easy street. Not that the weather channels want to tell us that. They want us to be on edge and buy more water, more batteries, more everything. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have some of that. As far as I'm concerned, we have an extra case of water right in our own house simply because, and batteries, simply because we can get an unnamed thunderstorm like these thunderstorms more recently that have come south of us over Palm Beach and Lauderdale, and you never know when your electricity could be out for a few days just on an unknown storm. So yes, have some supplies, and by all means, but don't go crazy. Now, also, let's hope that we get the Sahara dust back, and if we do, it can help us right through August. And the good part of all these hurricanes going north, the really good part, is it churns up the surface hot temperature of the Atlantic Ocean, and all of a sudden, instead of in the mid and upper 80s, it goes down to the low 70s. Well, that's no good for exciting hurricane formation. So that's very good for us.
So the hurricane needs the hot water.
Hurricane needs the very hot water, as hot, at least 80.
Okay. And what about, when do we know then the Sahara dust that we're going to get that? How do we know that?
We'll know that by if the pressure that I look up on NOAA and Google, if the pressure of the Bermuda High keeps increasing, we will get Sahara dust about within a week after that.
Okay.
You really need the high pressure of the Bermuda High to draw it out this direction. The dust is always formed. It's in Sahara now, and they're going through a very dry period.
Okay.
But the dust will come as soon as our high pressure has those trade winds pulling them toward us. And that is beautiful. It was beautiful last year while they were telling you to get prepared for a hurricane. Another one came off the coast of Africa. We don't care if it comes off the coast of Africa or not. We care where it's going.
Right.
And the Sahara dust will keep it away from us.
So we can't get on Amazon and order any Sahara dust? Like a big box of Sahara dust? We got to wait and see if it shows up.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, I hope the day comes when we can produce our own into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Give that a job to artificial intelligence.
Right. Get the AI involved. Okay, Martha.
What scares me of AI, as long as you mention it, it can be so sophisticated that it starts killing human beings.
Oh, well, that's a story for another day.
Yeah, it sure is.
Let's not talk about that.
Let's not talk
Keep
about
with the hurricanes and the Sahara dust. I just want to know if we can get some quicker so we know when this is going to happen.
The only negative about the Sahara dust, which is not a negative, it keeps our atmosphere very hazy rather than a bright blue sky. And for those of you who are tourists or want to sunbathe for a wedding, watch out. You can be burned on those hazy days. So that doesn't mean the sun's not getting through, or at least the ultraviolet rays are getting through. So still don't go by how clear the sky looks. Also, related to all of this, keep in mind that we are very, very dependent, including the Weather Channel, on the very last minute of whatever enters the Caribbean, whether it came from Africa or the hurricane formed in the Caribbean. And as soon as it goes into the Gulf, we're really very dependent on these low pressures that come from west to east that determine our rainy weather, how long that tail is, the curvature of the low pressure, and also how strong the low pressure is. There's a lot of that predicted this year with rain in California and a lot of those low pressures coming from west to east. If it has a long tail into the Gulf, it will blow things east to Florida and the Panhandle. But right now, the tails on all these low pressures coming from west to east, the tails themselves are very short and do not make it to the Gulf. So these low pressures coming across, and Kansas City's getting the rain, Louisiana, northern Texas, and the Carolinas, along with Georgia. And by not making it to the Gulf, they're not going to affect any hurricane that may come through into the Gulf. And that is bad news. That means it's a free-for-all. And if there's a hurricane in the middle of the Gulf, it's literally a free-for-all. It can go any direction, east, north, south, west, you name it. So let's hope that doesn't happen, and we have friends like last year where the low pressure will absorb up the moisture from the hurricane, and the hurricane never makes a landfall. That is beautiful. So with that happening, let's hope it does. If anything has to go into the Gulf, let's hope that happens. And we'll take a break, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us. I want to introduce you to our main sponsor, Highland Plaza, located on US 1 on the east side of the Highland Drive traffic light. We even have our own left-hand turn lane. One of the places in there, the first one on the north side, is Easy Stop, and you will be surprised what competitive and beautiful prices they have. You should give it a shot. Also, Tony's Hairstyling Salon is ideal for the entire family at all ages. He and his wife have run a salon there for years with a huge following. Also, we want to tell you about La Taberna Restaurant. It has the freshest Mexican food in town and a well-experienced chef. You will be most surprised not only by the food, but the reasonable prices. Also, I want to tell you about the nail salon. It's Luxury Nails. Let me tell you, they do everything, both for walk-in clients and appointments. Appointments are really appreciated, but they treat all clients professionally. Now, I want to repeat to you, this is located on US 1, just east of Highland Drive at the traffic light. It's a beautiful yellow building with a maroon awning. We look forward to seeing you there. Come on over.
Big news, Treasure Coast. Your favorite mortgage team just got even better. Introducing the same trusted faces you know and love, now with Union Home Mortgage.
Hi, this is Shannon Pohl.
Hi, this is Lucy Cranker.
And these high-producing team members bring decades of experience, unwavering honesty, and hearts of gold to every home loan. And here's the best part. Same local processing, underwriting, and appraisers you rely on. Contact Union Home Mortgage.
Visit us online at shannoncpohl.com
and lucycranker.com.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats and chairs in all the latest styles and colors from Tommy Bahama, Lexington, Hooker, Riverside, Universal, Four Seasons, Braxton Color, and Capri. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have hundreds of styles of any patio furniture you need, including a gallery of Berlin Gardens and Bollywood. wood. We specialize in fire pits, outdoor rugs, umbrellas, and replacement cushions. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Family owned and operated since 1991. Don't forget to visit our outlet store directly across the street, filled with lots of name brand closeouts and sale items. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Have a sunshine day. Sunshine.
Hey, you! Host your very own show every week at Evergreen Media Network in Vero Beach. Go live to YouTube and Facebook with up to 4 people and your very own producer. Be heard on more than 15 podcast platforms and local radio. All you have to do is show up and talk. Your guests can join from anywhere in the world. It's easy to get started with the largest podcast studio on the Treasure Coast. Contact Evergreen Media to tour the studio.
Well, hi, and welcome back. One thing I want to tell you, just a touch more of good news to close up on. With all these hurricanes going north in the Atlantic that hopefully don't reach us, the United States, or any shore for that matter, and just go into the North Atlantic Arctic graveyard, the good thing is it churns up the Atlantic so much that when we get serious hurricanes and larger hurricanes that tend to come off the African coast, guess what? It's no longer in hot Atlantic Ocean temperatures. It's churned up so much that the temperatures go down significantly, like into the 70s, low 70s, even 60s, which is not conducive to hurricane development for September and October.
Yeah.
And that's when we worry about our big hurricanes that may be destructive, that may have a wide circumference and a wide diameter. So it eliminates all of that. So even these little hurricanes that we don't pay any attention to, that the weatherman says, stay tuned for tomorrow because we don't know what's going to happen, at least all those hurricanes will be going north without interfering with anyone. And the indirect effect, yes, is beautiful. It cools down the Atlantic Ocean, which right now is abnormally hot. When I say abnormally hot, it's as hot now as it would be in late August and September when we get the bad hurricanes. And we're getting rid of the hot temperature now by stirring up the ocean. So that's a very, very good forecast and a good hope if all of that continues, as I said. Well, if you have any questions, you feel free to call us at the radio station, which is right up on your screen, or call me on my cell phone, which is 772-231-0001. I have 3 phone numbers in my mind. That's 231-0001.
And on the screen, Martha, it says 772-643-0067. So that's another number to get you at.
Yes. I have a lot of numbers, that's for sure.
You're easy to get a hold of, Martha. Easy to talk with.
Thanks. Well, let's hope that this week and all of June brings us good news on the high pressure getting stronger and the appearance by the end of June of some Sahara dust. You don't need to call me up. You can look at the sky and smile because you all know what's happening. So take care. Have a great week.